going to add some selective sharpening. And it's not necessary, but it's something I do want to do. I like adding additional sharpness to bibs and bubbles. Oh, I see what it's doing. That's strange. It's adding an absolutely new brush every single time I do this. I think it's selecting all these. Nope. So I'll just have to do this manually every time and have this fixed for the next stream. Not quite so sharp, but well, this also might be a side effect of one of the updates too. My computer did go down right when Adobe had a couple of updates rolling out. So if you can see, it's a little bit sharper, especially against the dark coloring. I'm going to do the same with the rings. Oh, see, that time it'll edit the button. One really nice thing about Lightroom over Photoshop is I don't have to save constantly. So this could crash right now, which I really hope it doesn't, but it could crash right now, and I'm not going to lose any of my progress. It's all saved as I work on it, which is a great help, because if you don't want to get my old habit I learned when I was 16 or however old I was, where you learn to save after every brushstroke. I was in this program called Summer 6-2 at Skidmore College, and our computers crashed absolutely constantly. It was pretty awful. And we literally saved after every chance. So if there was a brushstroke, save, brushstroke, save. And we did that throughout the entire course. We never had the computers replaced. And even though it was a summer program, it was for actual college credit, so we had an art show to produce at the end of everything. And if you made too many brushstrokes and crashed your computer, more often than not, you would have to start over from the very beginning. And with other classes going on, you weren't guaranteed the same computer all the time. This is in the days of zip drives. Basically, your life can be awful very quickly. Why is it a little bit too bright? And I'm sorry, sweetie, but this is a part of photo editing, and I didn't think of doing this prior to the stream, so what am I doing? Color. Just getting rid of Photoshop, or Photoshop. Lightroom is actually pretty good at getting rid of hairs and any blemishes on its own. Come on, sit in. And if it makes people feel better, it's very rare where a photographer doesn't have to edit someone out. I mean, it's like that Dove commercial. You saw a perfectly normal woman, and when you zoomed in, had to go crazy. Whoever had to go crazy with the editing. It's fine. Lightroom will sometimes choose some bizarre places to get a skin sample from. I think I'm gonna get some of the finer details in Photoshop though, because we're gonna have some magically cut hair that reappears elsewhere. And I do think this is ready for Photoshop, so I'm going to stop there, edit in, and Photoshop. Photoshop's already open. And as you've seen in past streams, automatically make a sample of the background. I need my navigator. And with Photoshop I can be a little bit sloppier with the editing things out because it's a little bit more forgiving. I remember the early days of Photoshop, I would airbrush the hell out of people. And they could have been like a porcelain doll and I would still edit them because I thought I knew that, I thought that that looked best. And looking nowadays, I cringe. People need the natural pores to look human. It's okay to have pores, it's okay to have blemishes, it's okay to have stray hairs. Don't drive yourself nuts photo editing things to hell. Like, I'm gonna leave this to look a little bit more natural. I'm gonna fix some of these just so, like I said before, there's not going to be these stray hairs that get cut off and lead to nowhere. I'm just not going to get too granular because that's when you start obsessing over things and it looks really odd, so. I mean, you can't really tell what I did because we're looking at 33%. But, I noticed. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to go ahead and merge these. And I'm going to save it. And I consider this piece to be done. So what is our next piece? Alright, we'll do this one. This one's, I would say, just about as hard. You have, she's not as lit in the front, and we have a lot of light here, and it looks like it's more work than it really is. But first, there we go. Still getting used to all my presets just gone. So I like constraint proportion. And I have Photoshop keep or Lightroom keep the original background because this way I can change the crop as I've been doing. Maybe I won't like this later, maybe I want to have her recentered. The old way used to get rid of the rest of the image, which could have screwed me over, so I think I'm gonna have it like this. And if you don't know, this is the rule of thirds. This is the way to set up images for presentation, how to lay it out in a more interesting way. There are other ways to do it. I don't remember how to show it in Lightroom because this is actually my favorite crop. I don't like to change from here. So, profile, let's see if there's any lens correction. Ah, there we go. Made her slightly thinner, it got rid of some of the curve. I'm going to remove the highlights to bring back some of the sky. Lift the blacks. Adjust the contrast. Looking a little blue. For a very, very sunny and hot day, it's looking a little blue, so I'm gonna change the temperature to be more red. There we go. I like the first guy. Another great thing about non-destructive editing very gently erase. And flow is just basically the opacity of the brush you're currently using. So I reduced the flow because I didn't want to get completely rid of it, I just wanted just enough. Here, I really want to get rid of it. Okay, so I'm enjoying how this looks so far. I'm going to yeah. I'm pretty happy with this one, so I'm gonna leave it as is. Where is it? Set flag. Flagged.